Hey, how's it going, Math 1? This is Mr. Hernandez, and I wanted to go over intro to the absolute value function, the equation, using a graph in the vertex. And so I'm actually going to have you take notes on this. And the first thing you want to do is label the parent function. And so the equation of the parent function is y equals the absolute value of x. And what that looks like on an x and y axis is pretty much a v. And the main thing to notice is right here, this point where the two lines meet is called the vertex. So that is the vertex, and in this case the vertex is at 0, 0, which is the origin. Alright, so if you have, I'm going to do another example. If you have, let's say, y equals the absolute value of x plus 3 minus 2, the first thing you want to do is identify where the vertex is. And so the same way that the order of these numbers are in is going to be the same order that you write the two numbers for the vertex. So 3 will be here and 2 would go here. The only thing is, when you're going from this number inside the absolute value symbol, it's going to change signs. And then this will just be recopied. This would be the same. So again, notice when it's inside the absolute value symbol, you're going to change the sign. But when it's outside the absolute value symbol, that's going to stay the same. So let's write that a little bit more clearer. So any number inside the absolute value symbols. And you know what? I'm going to put the opposite number. So this is positive 3, so the opposite of that is negative 3, and that's because it's inside the absolute value. This will stay the same. And I'm going to do a real, not a very accurate sketch, just to get the idea of where the vertex is. So if the vertex is at, I'll write it again here. If the vertex is at negative 3, negative 2, negative 3 means I'm going to go left 3, and negative 2 means I'm going to go down 2, because this is the x and this is the y. So if I go left 3, that's here, and I go down 2, that's here. So right here is the vertex negative 3, negative 2. And then from there you could do the general V shape. We're going to get really more precise as time goes on, but the main thing is to understand where the vertex is, and so it's right there from this equation. Alright, so let's do one more. Oh, and actually, if you want to look at this here, you know that the vertex is at 0, 0. Imagine putting, instead of the absolute value of x, what if we put the absolute value of x plus 0 plus 0? So it doesn't really change. It's the same exact thing as the absolute value of x. It's just we put these zeros here, which we don't need here, but we could show them, and then that's where this comes from, right? Except here, you could put like minus 0 plus 0. It doesn't matter. There's no opposite sign of 0, so it's just 0. Okay, so this is the last example. So you have y equals, let's say, absolute value of x minus 5 plus 1. So again, we want to find the vertex. So just like 5 comes first and 1 comes after, we're going to write it just like that. Now remember, in the absolute value symbol, that's going to be the opposite. So because it's a -5, we're going to make it positive. We could just leave we don't need the plus there, but I'm just going to put it there just to show you that it's the opposite, right? Just like the +3 and -3 was the opposite. And then this stays exactly the same, okay? So this is +1, so that's going to be +1. That's the same. All right, so now when we come to graph it, we are going to, again, if the vertex is at +5, +1, we're going to basically graph the x and y coordinate. So we're going to go right 5, up 1, and up 1. So there it is. And again, it's not very accurate, but we're just going to draw the v from there. As long as this point right here is the vertex, right here, 5, 1. Okay, and there's some other examples that you could consider. You don't have to. These are the main 3 that I want you to have down. But you could also consider, you know, something like y equals the absolute value of x plus 1 plus 3, and you know, let's say this one. So notice this one is missing a number inside the absolute value. Usually there's a plus or minus, right? And then this one is missing this number outside the absolute value. So in this case, this is going to be 0, and then that's going to be 3 for the vertex. And this one, this is going to be -3. Remember, inside the absolute value, it's negative. But because there's no number after, that's going to be 0. So that's kind of important to know as well. When there's no number inside, that's going to be 0. When there's no number outside, that's going to be 0. But remember, the order matters. So this is first, second. So first is 3, second is 0. And again, the opposite of whatever's inside the absolute value. So there's 2 tricks you have to know. You know, the order of the numbers in the vertex and the sign of whatever number is inside the absolute value, that's going to change. Whatever it is going to change. But whatever's outside is going to stay the same. All right.